Hello and welcome to everyone. I am so pleased that you could join us for our live event because today is all about twisting. I am Carrie Spender and I'm the education coordinator for Tumbl, and together Kelly Gibson and I lead the team in charge of bringing you content from our trusted ambassadors. As I peeked at the registrations over the last couple days, it was really fun to see folks joining in. And I see that a lot of you are repeat attendees, so thanks for sticking with us, Tumbl folks. I've also noticed that we have a huge worldwide audience again for this live event. So for those of you who are tuning in all around the globe, welcome to you. A couple of nuts and bolts things before we begin. Today's event will be recorded, and so please um, feel free to enjoy the presentation because we will be sending you a link after the event with the recording. We will keep the event to close to an hour, but towards the end, there will be a giveaway for a $250 gift certificate. You do have to be present to win, so stick around for that. I see a lot of you are engaged in the chat over here. And so that chat feature is where you can plop your good mornings or let us know what questions that you might have for Shea throughout the presentation. So who we are Tumbl, and cheers to us. It's our 35th anniversary. Education has always been a cornerstone for Tumbl. It's ingrained in us by our founder, Doug Davis. He's pictured there at the bottom of the screen in the red shirt, bringing one of the first Tumbl almost 35 years ago. He really has a strong belief that with the equipment, we have the responsibility to provide great education. And so that's what we are really proud to do today. We hope that you find the content really useful. Here's a little peek. A lot of times folks ask us, and we want people to know a little bit more about our team. This is the group of us in these photos. We are in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Some of us work remotely for the team as well, but we work really hard and enjoy what we do. All right, so it is time to bring on the star of our show. I am so happy to introduce you to Shea Crawford. I'm sure the name is familiar to you for his long list of cheer accolades, from being an athlete all the way through to his current role as Brandon All-Stars Tumbling Program Director. Shea, we are so glad to have you here today. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, from Tampa, Florida. The weather in Tampa is pretty warm today.
Yeah, it's a rough 83 outside, so I have to I have to. We can bring the AC down a little bit, but that'll help with the electric bill. But it's
Yes,
very
I
nice outside.
imagine. Well, today we're going to talk all about twisting, so I'm going to let you go ahead and take the show.
Oh, thank you. Hello, my name is Shea Crawford. I am the tumbling director at Brandon All Stars. I've been there a total of about 15 years. I've been in this industry for over 30. My dad owned a gymnastics gym, so I've grown up in and around tumbling my entire life. I'm very fortunate to be an ambassador for Tumbl. Have been for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years now, and I'm just really appreciate the opportunity to get together and share my thoughts. Today, we're going to talk about twisting. Again, these are based on my experiences. There are other ways to do it, there are other ways that are successful to do it. But I just wanted to go through, I have some videos that I've shared. Um, I do believe that it takes a village. So the more staff that you have that's able to pinpoint and view some different things and try to help the athletes, that's always where we want to go. So again, thank you, Carrie. Thank you to Tumbl for having me, and I truly appreciate it. And welcome. So the first video you're going to see here is kind of my prerequisite. So a lot of times people ask, like, when do you know if an athlete's ready to twist? So what you'll see here is an athlete that does an open tuck, and an open layout. When I say open, that means elbows behind the ears in the set, in the rotation, and in the landing. I have my lovely little Vicky doll here. So making sure that we have the glutes engaged as they're rotating over the top. So if we could go ahead and play that, Miss Carrie. There we go. All right. So right here, beautiful open set tuck. Watch that sometimes the athletes will tuck their feet to their bottom. That's not what we want. We want to make sure the toes and the shins are driving up and over. This athlete has a beautiful set. She actually just moved to us from London, so I cannot take credit for her awesomeness, but we're very proud of her and proud of the work that she has and those that came before us. But she has a very good line. So it's really helpful to see the head placement, the open shoulders. If you have athletes that are doing this open tuck, what you're going to see a lot of is they're going to open, and as they start to tuck, they're going to close. When they close, their hips are going to kick back. When their hips kick back, that tells me that when we start to twist them, we're going to have problems. Because if we're not able to engage those glutes and really lift with the hips up into the rotation, then it's going to create problems down the road. So the next would be an open layout. Miss Carrie, can we show that here? So you see that she's a little closed over the top, but as you see, she really stands up strong. She's pointing those toes and really rising up. So kind of one of the analogies that I tell kids sometimes is I'm like, all right, if I give you a basketball and you want to bounce it really high, what do you have to do? You have to throw it down really hard. So you can see here that she's really punching the ground and standing up. So the more that we can get that rebound to stand up nice and tall, that is our prerequisite. If I see the good open shoulders, the solid head position, we're able to control the landing. Here are my two no-nos when it comes to twisting. Athletes are never allowed to land locked with their legs, and they are never allowed to land with their feet further than shoulder width apart. Anywhere from shoulder width to together is acceptable with a soft knee. Not a bent knee, a soft knee. So they should land on toes and then a soft knee. If they're landing with a locked knee, or their feet are wider than shoulder width, or if they're ever crossed or staggered, then we take a step back. Again, this is for safety. We want to make sure that everything that we do with these athletes is safe. All right, Ms. Carrie, can we go on to the next slide? Okay, so in this drill, a lot of times when we're twisting, we have athletes that twist way too early. So we want to make sure that they're able to twist past vertical, that they're able to spot the floor. So what you'll see here is a candlestick. She'll go here, she'll come over hollow to the floor, and then we will work on going up, coming over the top, and then rotate. If you could play the video, please, Carrie. Here we go. So right here we have candlestick, nice and hollow through the top. You see she's opening her shoulders, really lifting those hips to the top. Okay, this helps eliminate and helps them feel, am I piking too much? Am I arching too much? After they've established that, then we want the toes to come up. They spot the floor, then they're able to twist over. So she sees her toes and she twists. Right here, we're just doing a half, but you notice she's leaving her arms up. There's a lot of different questions about arm placement when it comes to twisting. Me personally, I like to start and do as much of the twisting and training with the arms up as possible. If we can keep the elbows nice and tight by their ears and they're understanding how to twist with their hips, toes and hips, then we're already starting out positive. Then, as long as both hands are on the same side of their body that they're twisting and they're touching their body. So again, we can do the top, we've seen the cross, we have straight arms, we have one up, one down. All of those can be successful. So I don't really get too particular on it. Once I kind of see that the natural placement of the hands, then that's kind of what we'll go with. And I'll say, if I've seen the arms in a cross, I'm like, all right, make sure we get that cross and we're nice and tight. Really squeeze it to your body so that they're able to understand it. Here's another. This is solely focused on the twisting element. This is not rotating. We're not worried about flipping. We're worried about head, shoulders, core, hips, toes. We're just focusing on twisting our body. All right. Can you play this for me, please? There you go. All right. So you see that she's got her head out. So we don't want that. We want to make sure the chin is nice and neutral and she's squeezing. So we're able to twist and without having to try to twist. We're focusing on letting our body do the work. And one of the things that you'll notice here is a lot of times they'll try to twist way too fast. You'll see the feet separate. So sometimes I'll take my lovely hat, they can put it between their feet, and when they twist, they have to squeeze that over. So again, we want to make sure that they're able to understand. Again, kind of two main philosophies that I have are: number one, if you can feel it, you can fix it. If you can't feel it, you can't fix it. Number two, fix the first problem. So if we notice that the feet are coming apart in the twist when they're flipping, then I would take them to this drill, and then I'd put my hat in there, and then they could feel like, oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. That's where he's talking about my feet. Or I say, hey, your head's out. I could video and show them, and then they're like, oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. So again, we want to make sure that we're not just telling the athlete, fix this, squeeze that, hands up, head in. We want them to feel it. If they can feel the mistakes that they're making, they're more adept. They're more adept to probably fixing that issue. All right, nice job. So preferably, I want that nose down, but um, that's how we're able to get that twisted. So, all right, here's a very simple twist that has, or a very simple twisting drill that has no flipping, nothing like that. So you see, we have one foot on the slider. She starts with her hands in front. We're not doing a big wind up, and we just want one hand then the other. Just want her to twist 360 degrees. You'll see one hand come in. She's able to look at her toes. I tell my athletes that every time their toes touch the floor, I want them to see that happen. So if we're landing a back handspring, the athlete should be able to see the toes and then rise up into that nice tight position. We don't want to get here with the head already starting to kind of flip back. See how that already starts making body shape changes. Also, probably what's one of the biggest corrections that we make as a coach: don't throw your head back. So instead of me saying, discouraging a negative, I want to encourage a positive. So instead of me saying, don't throw your head back, I'll say, look at your toes. See your toes touch the floor. Now, once their toes have touched the floor, then they are welcome to spot straight in front if they would like. That's fine. I'm not mad at that. But then they need to keep their head still so that they can see their toes. Hopefully their legs aren't bent like that. They can see their toes rise. And then once we get between 12 and 2, that's when we want to execute the twist. So if we have an athlete that's really struggling on hand placement, if we have an athlete that's really struggling on spinning in one piece, I'll pop out the slider. It's a very simple drill that they can do while they're standing in a line waiting to take their turn. And next drill. And our next video, Mrs. Carey. Okay, so I've seen the athlete. They're able to go through an open tuck. They're able to demonstrate an open layout. They're able to do these very simple twisting pieces. Now we want to make, okay, Miss Lori, this is called the Vicky doll. This came very in handy over the COVID season when we were doing a lot of coaching via Zoom like this. She's fantastic. So that's her name, Vicky doll. I think Miss Carey had said her name used to be Sally. Is that what you said, Miss Carey? We called her Sally. Or Jenny. Some call her Jenny, but it's
Yeah, we called her Jenny. Jenny's gymnast.
Jenny.
But I
Jenny,
don't think
Jenny,
that's
Jenny the
Jenny
gymnast. All right, but yeah, she comes in handy when you're doing things like this. So once I can see that the athlete can demonstrate an open tuck and an open layout the way that I'm looking for, I've gone into some of those 3/4, candlestick. We're able to go over. Now we want to start demonstrating. I like to isolate the flipping. So right here, we'll see an elevated back handspring. So I call it back handstand to push-up shape or to belly. So we want to make sure that we're landing nice and flat. So if we can show that again, please, Miss Carey. Back handstand. I want to see a nice tight handstand. All right. As this progresses, you'll see this. We want to open the shoulders. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to block off the floor. We're just trying to get to hands, and then we come in. Okay. The next step would be, next video. These are my progressions. Here, we're going to go to elbows. So we're kind of doing a standing layout. She's a little archy, but you see the shape. So we're doing the same thing. We want to make sure that she's able to flip and go to that 3/4 belly flip. Okay. these are my progressions for it. So each athlete might take a little longer at each one of those steps than another. So if they're not doing it perfect the first few times, that's okay. Take some time, make sure they're really able to come through that handstand position. All right. So once they're able to demonstrate that they're able to do that, next video, please, ma'am. Sorry, I'm trying not to go too fast here. Okay, this time you notice she kind of holds at the top and then halves on the way down. So she gets her toes over the top. She is past vertical, and then she is going to half twist. Here, nice half twist. Okay, so the way that I teach twisting is I want to teach it in half sections. So I want to make sure that she's able to get to vertical, pass vertical, twist, not focusing on twisting with her arms. She's focusing on twisting with her hips. As she twists with her hips, her shoulders and her hips stay engaged all the way through her core, driving through her heels, pointing her toes. Preferably her feet stay together a little bit, but hey, this is what. Now, once they're able to demonstrate that, now we go without the arms. Okay, so now we're able to do standing layout, half twist. I would prefer the toes to come over a little bit more, but I do have to say, I don't know that athlete had ever done those drills. I just kind of grabbed her and was like, hey, I need a video for this. So you see, she does. If you see, can we go back to that video real quick, Miss Carrie? The no arm half twist. Okay, that's the one with the hands. There we go.
Yeah, it'll come up next.
All right. All right. So can you pause it when she gets to the top? Right. Maybe right there. Okay. So if you see right here, this is the number one reason that I don't start focusing on hands. When the hands happen, the head changes. As you see, as she pulls her hands down, her head is sticking out. What else is happening? Her legs are separating. Okay. So again, we want those arms nice and tight. I do a broken T when I'm doing a 3/4 to belly, because as you see, as she starts changing those hands, that's when she starts changing her body for the twist. She's a strong athlete. She has a solid full, so she was able to be strong through it, and she's able to get through there. But you see, kind of at the end, that's where we want those arms. So she also has one arm on one side, one arm on the other. We don't want that. We want neutral hands or both hands on the same side of our body that we're twisting. Thank you, Miss Carrie. All right, so that is the first half of the full. So we're able to go round off back handspring, layout. We've started doing the back half. Okay, so we've done the back half. All right, now we're going to work on the front half. Okay, so a back half plus a front half equals a full. So as you'll see right here, we do the same version, but we just went backwards. We're going to do the same thing forward. As you see, we have the, set up the T-trainer up onto the air pit pillow, nice soft landing. I start with a pike open so that they can feel how their hips are used and engaged. I also, if you notice, she's using those arms to open up. Actually, so for the broken T, I use that for the 3/4. That's only for the 3/4 flip. So because it would be really hard to do that with straight arms on there. So that's why I use the broken T arms for that. So once they're able to do this, where they're doing a pike open elevated, I would have them next. Okay, so you see she's lifting. She's got her chest up. She's piking. She's opening and lifting her hips. Now I literally go to a stationary position. I have her lay on her back in a pike position, drive her heels, lift her hips, and then feel the timing of when she's going to twist. Some athletes pop all the way over. Some athletes pop a little bit. She kind of gets about a quarter, maybe 2/3. She's not all the way there. We do have some athletes that have done broken T fulls. In this case, Miss Carly, yes, I do use the T trainer as a springboard. Yes, the springboard can be completely fine. You can use it. Like I said, the main thing is that they're going up so that they feel that they're elevating into that. So you can use T-train. I use a T trainer. I've even done this just from the floor up onto a folded folded wedge mat. This was the space that I had to use for the day that we were filming. So that this is what I used. Now, once they're able to show me they have a solid pike open, then we can do a front pike open. Then we can go pike open half. Now we're going to connect those two together. Oh, we missed the video. We skipped one, Miss Carrie.
Sorry, give me 1 sec.
That's all right.
I hope it's this one. There you go.
There it is. Okay, so as I also mentioned before, this athlete has never done this. Is her first day doing this progression. So what I want to make sure that she's doing is she's lifting, she's engaging her hip, she's opening, and then she's twisting. So she's able to twist with her hips. So there we go. We have her hips, and she's able to do it. So, Mr. Jason, the question is, how does the front translate to the back? So if my athlete leaves the floor, she does a layout, she's going backwards, and she does a half. When she gets right here, the next thing she's going to do is a front half. That is going to equal a full. So a back half plus a front half equals the full. Now, the main thing that I've used it for is them understanding twisting. Okay. So it's not an automatic connection. It's not like, oh, she has a back half. Oh, she has a front half. Boom, she's got a full. Okay. Doesn't work like that. But it does help them understand, how can I utilize my hips? Can I feel my hips? A lot of times we talk about engaging the hamstrings, engaging the glutes. Kids take time, don't I mean, how many of us have told squeeze? Raise your hand if you've ever told a kid to squeeze before. Everybody watching is hopefully has their hands up. We've all said it, but a lot of times they don't feel it. So this is one of the, there you go, Mr. Sean, thank you. So a lot of times they don't feel where to engage right here, how to feel that extension and that straight line. So by doing a pike open half turn, we are teaching them how to engage and utilize those muscles that we want with a back full by front twisting and using those same muscles. So it doesn't happen. It it doesn't happen automatically, but it does over time. I know I can't feel my hips either. I trust me. I was telling Miss Carrie, I threw my back out last Saturday. I was literally moving a panel mat. So I bent down to move a panel mat and my back locked up. So I've been in a back brace walking around lately. So when you're moving a panel mat, make sure you squat and then move. So, all right. So thank you. Hopefully that helps, Mr. Pollen. All right. So right here, what you're going to see is, this is my favorite piece of equipment. Two of my favorite pieces of equipment combined into one. This is the rod floor, which is my baby. I was a power tumbler for a little while, and my Tumbl tape. How many of us have kids that aren't comfortable tumbling onto equipment? They get so confused. They can't be aggressive. That's where 9/10 of my problems come. 9 out of 10 of my problems come from. I got the kid that can do all the drills, but when I get ready to translate them, onto a safe surface, me personally, my progression is Tumbl Trak to a soft surface, rod floor to a soft surface, floor to a soft surface. So I want to make sure that the athlete is being able to be as aggressive as they possibly can. I want them to run as hard as they can. I want them to block as fast as they can and punch down as hard as they can and get as high as we can. I don't care about the flipping and the twisting yet. I need to see that round off turnover. I need to see that handspring block. I need to see those toes punch. Okay, what you're going to see in this video is you're going to see the Tumbl tape being utilized, where you see the good steps. Where do the hands go? You see the hands go here. We're open, punch, rebound as high as we can. Okay, if we can punch on the floor and we can be consistent and punch in that box every single time, then when we start flipping and twisting, we are going to have a safe surface to land on we're going to have a confident athlete that is being aggressive and consistent that we're able to do more with. So Tumbl tape is my baby. It's kind of how I got into. I was bragging on Tumbl tape before I ever became an ambassador, and I just fell in love with it. So I also have a little challenge. So far, Miss Carrie has told me, at the end there'll be, they'll talk about some products, but they said that nobody has used the speaker's code so far. So I want to be the first that has someone order something using my code. So all that information will come later, but I challenge you. If you look in this video right here, I have a transition bed. There's my transition bed right there. I have Tumbl tape on my transition bed. I have Tumbl tape on my rod floor. I have 2 on my floor, and my other. It's my favorite piece of equipment. So I'll shut up about that now, and we'll move on to what's next. But here you have. Here we have this video right here. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry I jumped ahead, Miss Carrie. But okay. So a lot of times we talk about length. So when we go for a round off back handspring tuck, a round off back handspring layout, this is where we want to be. Again, we talked about that open shape. What you're going to see here now, I call it the round off slap back handspring. So what's going to happen is she's going to come out of her round off. She's going to slap her hands down, but what she's really doing is pushing her hips and hands together, and she's going to land her round off like this. By landing her round off like this, it's going to turn over in the back handspring and give the handspring distance so that we are landing with our feet stretched behind us. Okay, so we're able to adjust that ankle. Now, please, the first time you have your athletes do this, spot them. All right. It's going to freak them out. They're going to do it with their feet behind them and their hands are going to come down and they have no idea what's going on. Once they get comfortable, again, it's not just slap my hands down. It's hands and hips coming together to get those feet through. Now, they only slap on the Tumbl Trak. When we go to the rod floor, it's about right here. When we go to the floor, it's a little higher. But you can see, can you stop it when her hands slap, like right between the round off and the back handspring? I know I'm challenging your pause skills. Round off, right? Almost. Oh, we got slow-mo here. This is your cheat code, Miss Carrie. Come on. Round off, right. One more. Right there. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you're able to see it. Yes, Miss Haley, you should be seeing a video. You can reach out to Shelly if you're having issues with it. Okay, so right here, you can see the hands are coming down. All right. And we want to make sure that those hips come through. So can we play at full speed? So I'm sorry, I tried to get you pausing too early. Let's just go back to the beginning where it'll play 3 times through. So here you see a drop, those feet come through, and you see the angle. We're able to get that big rebound straight up. That rebound did not travel at all. And that's what we want to make sure that she has control. So she's able to go right here. There's the slap. There's the long angle, eyes on her toes. That is going to set us up for control when we begin to lift and twist. There it is, full speed. And you can see where we start stretching out and we get those feet behind us. So a lot of time, I know, again, yes. And so as you see, that sets this up. A lot of times we're like, okay, what's the magic to twisting? There really is no magic to twisting. They need a good round off back handspring. They need a good round off handspring open tuck. They need a really good round off handspring open layout. If they do all that really, really well and they're really nice and tight, twisting gets very, very easy. So this is one of my other favorite drills. And I do this, let me preface this by saying, so, twisting in cheerleading is level 5. Double twisting is level 6. This drill right here, I do with my level 2 athletes, which are athletes that can only do back handsprings. So even at that young age or lower level, they can start preparing for what we want them to do in the future. So this is a hip set drill. This is really encouraging hip set. So this is step 1. We just want to make sure that they're opening their shoulders, lifting their hips, and they have a nice strong close. So open shoulders, hips lift. Hopefully they don't drag their legs like she did. and she will be reprimanded for that. Just kidding. But we start seeing that open shoulders, toes. Then the next drill is we want to go back handspring, rebound onto their feet. Now, let me start. Pause, please. This is going to take them some time. This is starting, we're talking about changing angles. We're talking about looking different, lifting different, kind of gainering. So this is going to feel a little weird for the kids, okay? Everything we've been saying is reach back, get back, get back, get back. So now we're changing angles. So be patient. Be patient. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Megan had a question. Do you recommend introducing this to beginners or more for intermediate to advanced athletes? And she's referring to arms down after
Arm
round
drop.
off.
I'll say two things. Again, the first couple times they do this, they need to be spotted. If you have an athlete that's level 2, round off back handspring, level 3, if they're throwing their hands, if they're landing their round off and they're, sorry, here's my Vicky doll. I got a doll. If you have an athlete that is landing a round off like this to do their back handspring, if you have an athlete that looks like this for their round off back handspring, have them try this drill. Because guess what? When they go to slap, they are going to feel it really, really bad. So it can also help with the head back. If you're doing that, heavy spot on the tumble track. I don't do that on any surface other than the tumble track. So that's what I would recommend. When I'm looking at the angles, okay, if I'm looking for the deep angles, that's more my level 4, 5, 6 athlete that I'm looking for. Upper intermediate to advanced to elite athletes is where I'm doing that. All right. Does that help answer that, Miss Megan? And Lexi, the T trainer, I have not had it long, but when I tell you it is my Swiss Army knife, like I have used it for cartwheels to double fulls and everything in between, punch fronts, aerials. I did it with a Valdez the other day. Like I'm telling you, it is a Swiss Army knife. So I could get this. I could do a whole nother class on the T trainer, and I don't want to get stuck because I want to make sure I get through all this information. But we want to make sure that we do that, that I get through that. But the T trainer, gold. My number one favorite piece of equipment is my tumble tape. My number 2 is my transition bed because the carpet, it's glorious. Number 3, T trainer. So, all right. And pit pillow, the list is vast. All right. So as I said, we're rebounding back to there. Be patient. It's okay. It's going to take some time. Those angles take some time. All right. And this next one, she's going to do that same thing. So now we're putting the 2 together. So we're doing here, we're going up, and now she's going to come back and she's going to cover. Here, okay, she's come to her feet. She's nice and comfortable. She's got a good neutral head position. She's got a nice tight core. And now we're going to open those shoulders, lift those hips, and come through. This is great layout drill. Layout, cover. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. I'm seeing the arms come all the way up. The shoulders are open. Toes are pointed. That makes me smile. That makes me smile. Now, before we go to the next drill, this is the first time she'd ever done this, okay? This athlete has a double full, but she's never done this drill. So this is good. This is kind of what you're going to see, all right? She probably does a little better than most their first time, but she doesn't do it perfect, on purpose. I did this on purpose. All right. Come on, DJ Carey. Play it for me. All right, here we go. Here, toes. All right. Okay, you see the snake around. She's dropping arms. What do I do? Oh, my feet, my head. Where am I looking? All right. So that's what you're going to get. As you see, she drops her arms. You can do this with arms up. You can start adding the arms. Whatever the athlete's comfort level is and wherever they are in their progression, it's great. Here is the beauty of this drill. I wish she would have done it. I tried to get this was her first time. And honestly, this is pretty good for the first time. The beauty of this drill is they can't spin too early. If they try to spin early, they land on their feet. So the worst case scenario for this drill is they're going to land on their feet. So a lot of times I will have the athletes do it, come through, lay out, and then literally right before their land, just kind of quarter, like not even a half, just try to land on their side so that they're there, so they understand the timing of when they're supposed to twist. Okay. So that is a great drill that helps them understand the hips with their twist, or, and you see some of the flaws with the head out, the hands, the feet. Those are normal mistakes. Those are normal flaws. We see those in every kid that's twisting, but they're able to feel it. You see in that video, we break it down in slow-mo. How many of you have an iPhone? Well, if you don't have an iPhone, I have no idea how your stuff works, but on an iPhone, I can video and do slow-mo. I assume the similar features are in your flip phone that you have, or your Android, or whatever. You're sending green bubbles and nobody likes that. So get a new phone. But if you don't, and you have an iPad that you're able to use, or a Kindle, I don't know, but you can slow that down. There we go. And once she fixes it, she sees it. Now she's able to come all the way through. So she got her hips up. And again, this was like her second try. So she's able to go toes up. She didn't go toes up first, but she's able to use the hips. That's the most important part. We still want those toes up a little bit more, but there's our twist that comes all the way through. We're able to see those big, look at that big set she does. That warms my heart. Warms my heart seeing those shoulders open before we twist. And she opens into the quarter. So these are all drills that we can do, and they don't have to be throwing a full. You can do these exact same drills with kids that don't have a tuck. You don't have to have a tuck to be able to do this drill. All right? I would recommend they have at least a layout, but challenge the kids. See, kids like to be challenged. Who can do it? You'd be amazed at how many kids start pumping out these drills just because, hey, they want to be challenged. All right, so I got to brag on this kid for a little bit. He's not an athlete at Brandon All-Stars, but I've been working with him for a very long time. When he started, I kid you not, it took about 2 months to get him to understand how to lunge, how to lever, how to handstand. I've been working with him for several years, and now he's throwing standing fulls. He's twisting. He's such a great kid, really hard worker. The definition of, never quit. Like, this kid never quits, and I'm really, really proud of him. And so for me to be able to use him in these drills just says a lot about him. So we've done those drills. Now we want to start flipping. We want to start landing on our feet. What do we do? So step one, we want to do that open layout, rebound half turn. Yes, Kyle, his name is Isaac. Great kid. Really, really great kid. Again, I'm not going to take full credit for him. It takes a village. As I said, there's a lot of coaches that work there, but you see we have the open layout. All right, so open layout, start landing on our feet, open layout. There you go. I do want to say this too. One thing that I have found helpful is when athletes are start twisting is I kind of make it an unwritten rule is only standing back handstrings to full on the Tumbl track. And I say that because up until this point, we've been saying, go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster. And now I'm like, control. So I really do think standing back handstrings are a really positive thing when we start twisting. So once he shows that we have back handstring, layout, open layout on the Tumbl track, land on soft surface, then we want to start going back handstring, rebound, half turn. Okay, so pause for a second. Now, what I do is I say layout, rebound, half turn. And I tell them to do that a million times. Just keep going. And I'm watching them. When I see that they are going to lay out and their toes are going to twist just slightly, and I mean like an eighth, I video and I show them. And so in this slow-mo, you will see that he is going to lay out right, I mean like a frog's hair before his feet touch the floor. He turns his toes just a little bit. Okay? So go ahead and play for me, Miss Carrie. I want to video this and document it because I'm not telling him to twist. I am just telling him to lay out, spot the floor, rebound half turn. He is spotting the floor and feels comfortable to start twisting a little bit early. Now he understands when to twist. I didn't tell him to twist. I'm not forcing the twist. I'm not rushing the twist. All I am encouraging is a good, solid layout shape. Yes, his knees are a little bent. He's a little piked. Overall, he's doing a great job. He sees the floor. He's able to spot that floor and just, okay, all right, you got ahead of me, Kerry. Now he's showing off. All right. So then I tell him, all right, now when you spot the floor, now let's apply all those drills that we've done. Spot the floor. I want his arms to stay up. And look where he's look at his body. It's already trying to go past a half. I haven't told him to go anywhere. All I've said is lay out, see the floor, turn. Okay? His arms are up. Okay? His arms are a little bit wide. Let me mention this real quick. There's a big difference between guys and girls. Okay? Once females reach puberty, so guys and girls until I would say between the ages of 10 and 12, we're all shoulder dominant. We're all shoulder. This is where we want to twist from. So if you're twisting a female, if you're working twisting with a male or a female that hasn't reached puberty yet, it's shoulders. Once a female reaches puberty, now the hips are way more dominant. We have to be way more encouraging of them understanding the strength of the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes, and the core. We've got to have this strong section that they understand how to twist with that. So it's another reason why either if male or female, I'm very arms up. Arms up helps us understand shoulders. If arms up, if you don't twist, your hips break, and we understand I have to engage before I twist. So forcing the arms up at least to the half is so important. So as you see right there past that, he's already naturally twisting past that half. Okay, arms up. See, he's ready. Then we go half, hop, half. I don't have a video of that, but you'll see. Here we go. Half, hop. He's ready to go. All right. Nice job, Mr. Isaac. Thank you, sir. All right, now you're going to see little Miss Scarlett, same lady from the video before. She's going to demonstrate full. Hopefully you see all of those pieces that we talked about before. And the main thing that I'm looking for right here, hit the floor as hard as you can. Get your arms up as strong as you can. The only thing I really say when I'm coaching her, go higher. That's it. I'm only just say, get your feet together faster, get your arms back faster. Those are the main things. She's Scarlett, the young girl you're going to see right here, she still does all those drills. She's done the hams. She's done the 3/4. She's done arms up, rebound half turn, arms up, full and a half. She's done all of those drills. So if you could play for me, Miss Carrie. There you go. You see the arms up nice and straight. She stands up nice and straight. Then she brings those arms in. Nice tight spin. So again, I cannot take any credit for teaching this young lady how to twist or round off or anything like that. And now you see how it translates in. It's all you see. She drops those arms down. Can we go back to that a little bit? The slow-mo of the double full. And I just want you to see she doesn't drop all the way down, and you'll see it in her full too. The hands, she's finishing that block. So the hands do come down as we talked about before. So when she's landing her round off, she's about right here where she's able to go into that back handstring that's setting that up. So that round off arm slap drill that we're talking about before. She's a little arch right here, but she's super strong. So she's able to kind of use that to propel her over. And so you see that arm drop gets a little deeper when she goes to double. So those hands, watch those hands right there. See them come down? That's what allows that to happen. Yeah, I would say her arm set was a little bit early. She was back a hair, but I just grabbed her and said, hey, do a double. So she wasn't really focusing on it. All right, so we're going to have some questions in a second, but I did want to take this time and talk about what Brandon All-Stars can do for you. We have our BA technique clinics where we come to you. We have staff that literally have traveled all over the world. We can do tumbling, stunning, choreography, baskets, dance, jumps, you name it, we can do it. We can customize it to you. We have staff training all across. So we really can do whatever, anything cheer related. We are happy to help. And again, I want to thank anybody that's brought us in before. We really appreciate it. I have the best staff in the country that are phenomenal at teaching everything. So tumbling is my lane. That's the lane that I stay in. We have stunt specialists. We have, and again, stunt, basket, jump specialists, like people that really focus on flexibility and all of those things, as well as routine cleanup. We have coaches that focus on tinies and mini athletes all the way up through senior and open across the board. So if you're looking for someone that can help you with anything, please feel free to reach out, shea@brandonallstars.com. I'm happy to help in any way, sharing videos, critiques. I want to help. That's my goal. So, all right, now we are here for question and answer. If you have any questions, again, I hope I was able to kind of share some new ideas, some old ideas. There are other ways to do it. I've seen other coaches that are very successful depending on the athlete. I always say it's kind of like going fishing. If you love the red worm, you go fishing with that red worm. But if the fish aren't biting on that red worm that day, if you don't have any lures in your tackle box, you're kind of stuck. So we want to make sure that we provide that we have as many different tools in our toolbox or tackle box as we possibly can. So can we get a layout session? You got to get with Miss Carrie on that.
I just saw comments. That's a good way to finish. Sort of suggestions for next sessions. That's a great idea. What people want to know.
A drill to keep shoulders up in layouts and in full. I tell you a really good simple drill, and this is a good drill. That's kind of a prerequisite. Is just kind of try to have them do those open layouts, and then have them land and rebound. If they can do an open layout and rebound, then they're doing it right. Chances are they probably are going to land a little bit like this. This is probably a very common landing position for layouts. And it's probably because they started their back handspring they left their back handspring like this, probably a little more like this. So the only way to fix an arch is a pike. So open layout. Open layout is my favorite drill or any way to train doubles. So again, this is going to sound simple, but I do the exact same thing. So we go full, rebound, half turn, full and a half, arms up, full and a half. Oh, get your head in, Vicky. Full and a half, arms up, rebound, half turn. I really do it. Pretty simple. Helen, that is a great question. That is probably one of my favorite questions about the T-Trainer. I literally have 2 8-year-olds that can pick it up and move it all the time. Like, it is so light. I call it my mobile tumble track, like my mobile mini tumble track. Like, you can put it on hard floor, flat floor. It's super, super light.
Shay, I saw another question. I don't know. There's a couple that came in, but this one, how do you determine which way to twist?
Okay, so this is like the chicken or the egg, and there's no wrong way to do this. I know there are, in the gymnastics world, and correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie, because I don't want to speak out of my knowledge. It used to be that a vault entry, you could get a different difficulty if you round off entry one direction and twisted the opposite. Am I correct on that?
I don't know about that.
Might not be. But that was my understanding. That's what I was told decades, like
I'm gonna have to phone
20 plus years ago. That's what I was told. So in gymnastics, the direction of entry of your round off and the direction in which you twist was much more important because of that. Where in cheerleading, it really isn't as important. So for me, I go to my layout, rebound, half twist. That's how I let the athletes determine. Now, let me add, when exiting an Arabian or a full and a half, it can't, the squareness must be much sharper. Like you can't be off a little bit and exit out of an Arabian if you round off one direction and twist the other. So the square exit needs to be yeah, I think it was back in the old like the horse days. That's what that's what I'm thinking. And again, like I said, I'm talking 20 a very very long time ago.
Yeah, it was the
Um,
half vault.
yeah, exactly. So there was a difficulty value that determined that would that's why the priority in gymnastics was so high. Now it does some athletes. I've had athletes that round off left, round off right, round off left, twist right, round off right, twist left. I've seen it done successfully across the board. I am going to go at my athlete's comfort. If I have it, if I'm starting a kid and they've never done it before, I would probably have them if they put their hand down, if they put their left hand down first, I'm going to say, hey, let's lay out, try to rebound half turn left. I'm going to see what that looks like. If they're struggling with that, okay, let's rebound, try to twist right. I don't get bent out of shape on that, me personally. There are some that get really hung up on it. I don't care. I want them twisting and twisting safely. That's my priority.
This question just in from Joshua. What do you suggest if an athlete is consistently over rotating their full?
So if they're over rotating their full, chances are their handspring is way too short and they're probably landing their handspring like this. So I would go back to my open layout rebound. I would probably have them also, if they're on the tumble track, if they're doing two back handsprings, have them do one back handspring. As you see with Isaac, he was doing one back handspring. If I have him do two back handsprings, he over rotates every time. So I would limit the power going in. I also want to increase the control. So I don't necessarily try to talk about speed as much as increasing control. So I want them to go as fast as they can, as long as they can control it. So I would really try to increase the angle of the back handspring.
Awesome. Shea, this was
Yes,
really
ma'am.
fun. I'm always worried about mixing skills. How do you make sure to differentiate between a whip and an open layout?
So a whip has a starting angle of feet in front, and the chest is typically much more open. Whereas a layout, I want the feet up underneath, and we're much straighter in our shape. So I want the feet angle of how they leave the floor is much more my determining factor. I also one of the things that I try to do is I try to round off whip, round off back handspring layout. So if this was Shea's perfect world, I would try not to introduce whips until after they twist. I know the score sheet's very different, so we don't have that luxury. But if you can try to round off whip, then that's also, guess what? That's also the same angle we're doing round off back handsprings. So we're not confusing there. And then back handspring tuck, layout, full, double.
Sounds good. Shea, do you have time for one more question? I know we're
Yeah, I do. I
one
do.
more. Okay. So from Sean, how do you help athletes understand how to press their hips through while tapping out of their round off turnover? Favorite ways to help it click. I find that they either drive straight to arms because they're too deep or fly into a whip entry because they're not deep enough when I'm introducing this concept.
Okay. So if you could get a mat and put it up on the wall, have them round off and rebound into that. If you can round off, rebound into that shape. So that way you're able to say, okay, hands higher, hands lower, feet further in front, feet further back. And again, I want them to land their round off with just enough room to rebound back into that so that they're nice and they're able to be in that shape that I'm looking for. So again, this would be a mat onto a wall. She does her round off. Oh, come on, Vicky, tighten up. She does her round off. She's able to go here and drive into that shape. And again, she might round off and rebound straight up, so she's not quite there yet. Does that help, Mr. Sean?
There you go. So it looks like, Shea, we've got a couple of topics for a next presentation for you. We're going to have to talk after this.
All right, sounds good. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. It says so much about you as an instructor that you want to spend time and educate yourself and improve. Continue to just broaden your horizon. I'm not necessarily saying improve because I'm sure there's a lot of coaches on here that are fantastic coaches in their own right. I am constantly evolving and changing and learning and chatting with as many people and friends as I can. So definitely want to make sure that I just want to give you all everybody props taking time out of their day to continue to improve and educate. And thank you, Trak, for facilitating such this awesome opportunity. Thank you so much.
Awesome. We love having you. And we are about 1 minute away from doing our $250 drawing, so don't go away yet. I did want to introduce you to some of the rest of our team. This is Shelly and Jen. These are folks who will answer the phone and answer all of your questions about equipment choices, best pricing, lead times, shipping, all of those things, carpet bondage foam, anything that you need to know, you can call our sales team, and they'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Shea, the challenge is on. Shea 20.
Come on. I just need one person. All I need is one person. Use the code. Again, I love it. I'd appreciate it. Again, I just try to everybody to have a good time. Have a lot of fun.
This is 15% off the Tumbl tape. This is valid for both our UK division. I don't know how many people know that we have a whole UK operation. And so for those of you who are attending or watching this later internationally, you can go to our UK site and still get the discount and all the other Tumbl equipment that you need. Our UK team would be happy to talk with you.
Somebody's used the code. Yeah.
Yay!
All right. Thank you so much. Again, I hope everybody had fun. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something, or we encouraged what you're already doing. So again, thank you so much. Again, I appreciate everybody taking the time to tune in and listen.
And all the things, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and of course our website. And Shea, you have a pretty active Facebook group as well, right?
Yeah, it's All-Star Tumbling Coaches. If you're not a member, please feel free. Shoot me a message. I'll friend request you. I'll add you in the group. I feel like there hadn't been updated in a while because there's years worth of stuff on there. There's a lot of really great instructors that share a lot of great stuff. And I'm definitely not taking credit. I'm just the admin. I'm just the one that clicks accept and tries to keep the ball rolling. So there's a lot of great information on there as well. There's so many people out there that do just a great job. Oh, they're asking who won. Who won, Carrie?
Here we go. So Shea, here's how the giveaway works. All of the active comments here, what I do is I'm going to do like a roulette scroll and stop randomly. I'm going to ask you to pick a number between 1 and 25, and then I count. Comment is when I scroll and just random stop. So go ahead, pick a number 1 to 25, and that's going to determine our winner.
All right, I got it.
You got it? Go ahead, tell me.
4. 4 is my lucky number.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tara Morris, are you still here? That's the challenge, is making sure that they stayed in. So Tara Morris, if you're still here, yay!
Yeah, congratulations, Tara. All right.
Tara, drop your email right there, and I'll contact you right after the event. Or if you don't have to drop your email.
And you got a code to use too. You got $250 and a discount code. Win-win. Tara's killing it.
That's right. That's $250 gift certificate. So you can decide what you want to choose there. Wish list items. Shea, if you had $250 to spend at Tumbl Trak, what would you spend it on?
I'd probably get another Tumbl tape. I do need some sliders. The hurdle helper. It's another one. Mm-hmm. That's a good one. T-trainer. Probably get a discount. I help you kind of knock off, get you in there for that. Let's see. I like the hot spots too. Hot
Yeah.
spots are hot spots are good.
All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Shay, and thanks to Brandon All Stars and all the incredible athletes. I saw a comment
Nice
come
picture there
through that
the
the
whole time.
athletes were such great examples, and 100% agree that your athletes are phenomenal. We will be watching for you, but you can follow Shay on his Instagram and TikTok. I don't know how many of you know that Shay is on TikTok as well at SC Flips, right?
Yeah, the little blonde girl that was doing the hip up twist drill. I literally just hand my phone to her and some of her friends, and they walk around and done it. I've been slacking, so I'm gonna get better at it. But it's
Oh,
fun. It's fun. They do a lot of fun little drills that they enjoy. So
yeah.
we look
Well,
forward to it.
we have a lot going on. Thanks everyone for spending this hour with us. Again, you'll get a video recording in your email, your registration email. We really appreciate you tuning in. You can find all of our virtual and live events that we've had all year and in the past couple of years at tumbletrak.com. I'm going to put this in the chat. tumbletrak.com/events. So that's where you'll find all of the past recordings from other events that we've done, just like this one, as well as ones that we have coming up in the future. Although I do think this does round out our current 2023 schedule. We are working on a couple more that may happen at the end of the year, but still in the works. But keep that in mind for future events. And everybody have a great day.
Thanks
Bye.
again. Bye, guys.